Yes, I know we've been on a long break, but hello and welcome to Last Time Studios. Please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. Today we're taking a look at Those About to Die on Prime. It's hard to miss it when you log into your Prime account. They seem to be pushing it as a go-to new show. Let's give it a go. Maybe it's The New Boys, but set in Rome or something. I get ready for an epic tale and sit down, ready and primed. Yeah, terrible, I know. And the first thing that greets me is what I can only describe as god-awful. Get ready for Amateur Hour on Prime. Right from the start, it's clear this show is struggling, gripping to dear life like a Roman centre clinging to his toga in a hurricane. As the toga unravels, thread by thread, until his sad, shriveled body appears. It's not a stumble, it's a full-on faceplant. The opening scene is god-awful, plagued with editing errors, bizarre acting choices and wonky dialogue that leaves you wondering if the actors themselves even knew what was going on. A knife shifts position between shots. The dialogue is poorly delivered. It's hard to tell whether it was meant to be serious or farcical. Frankly, it would have been better just to delete the scene and forget it ever existed. The CGI doesn't help either. The show kicks off with an attempt at an epic intro sequence, clearly trying to evoke the grandeur of Game of Thrones. But what we get instead is something that looks like it was rendered on a child's Play-Doh model. The line featured in the episode is so badly done that it borders on laughable, a stark contrast to the $140 million budget that was supposed to bring ancient Rome to life. The arena scene, which should have been a visual spectacle, instead resembles an outdated game, maybe from the PS2 days at best, with characters that look like to be mapped on an Amiga 1000. Honestly, even The Rock's infamous CGI in The Scorpion King looks good in comparison. There's a few moments where the sound design shines, like the immersive clashing of swords and the roar of the crowd, but these brief moments are essentially shit on by the constant redub blunders that pop up throughout the episode. The lack of attention to detail is nothing short of disastrous. Dialogue that doesn't match up with actor lip movements, audio that feels disconnected from the scene, and an overall sense that the post-production team simply didn't care. I'm no audio wizard, but come on, I've got tips for the production. There are even some automated plugins that could have maybe saved this disaster. Like, what's going on here? It seems like a serious lack of knowledge or effort. Maybe it's the case of all the gear, no idea. Someone sprayed the magic money hose straight into their pockets rather than the production. Anthony Hopkins and Iwan Rheon try their best to salvage the material, but even their talent can't elevate the mess that they've been given. Hopkins, usually a beacon of gravitas, seems oddly miscast and disengaged. His portrayal of Vespasian lacks the authority and nuance the role demands. Rheon, who terrified audiences as Ramsay Bolton, is almost unrecognisable here, reduced to delivering lines with little impact or significance. The voiceover at the start was okay, but when it followed that dreadful intro, oh my lord, they lost me already. The rest of the cast fares even worse, offering performances that range from painfully overacted to so bland that you forget who they are the moment they leave the screen. Where's Uncle Roger when you need him to pour some of that sweet MSG? The plot, which should have been the backbone of this series, is derivative and poorly executed. What could have been a gripping exploration of the power struggles and brutal games of ancient Rome instead feels like a cheap soap opera in Roman attire. Think Neighbours, but the period after the 90s when no one watched it. The show introduces over 30 characters in the first hour, an overwhelming number that leaves none of them the room to breathe or develop. We get rushed introductions and chaotic scenes that do nothing to engage or invest the audience. A bit of a yawn fest, if anything. For those of us who are nerds or amateur historians, might have noticed inaccuracies. For instance, the episode's reference to Andalusian horses in 79 CE. Yeah, these horses didn't even exist during the Roman period. The portrayal of culture is also completely out of whack, unless the producers maybe think history got it wrong. Overall, Those About to Die is a disappointing and frustrating start to what could have been a strong series. While I cross my fingers that future episodes might improve, I'm not holding my breath. And let's not forget, we've got Martin Ford waiting in the wings. Maybe when he appears on screen, he'll punch his way through the bad acting and save the show. But I wouldn't hold my breath. Nobody's that hard. Thank you for tuning into Last Time Studios. If there's enough interest here, maybe say 500 views in the first month, we'll have a crack at episode 2. Otherwise, I simply can't bring myself to watch the next one. So if you want to avoid the pain and make us take it, you know what to do. See you next time.